What's up and welcome to Me, You, and Switch 2. I am me, Tom Tate, and you are you, so let's talk about Switch 2. This is the latest and greatest Nintendo Switch 2 news, brought to you every Tuesday and Friday in snackable 5 to 10 minute episodes. Today happens to be Friday. It is July 31st. It is 8:02 a.m. on the East Coast. This is episode 122, and this week has flown by. I don't know if it's flown by for you, but I think I'm kind of in a busy period at work, so I'm sure you've had those weeks or even those months where like the day is just so packed that it all just blends together, and that's me right now. I did get my air conditioning fully replaced this week, which was amazing. I know that's a first world problem, but you really do start to take those things for granted when you don't have them. So I'm grateful to have a more comfortable home today and this week. Okay, enough about my life updates. We're going to get to the news. It's been a quiet few weeks. I think we'll probably start getting some more exciting stuff in August as we begin kind of preparing for the holiday season marketing campaigns. You know, they have to start revving up the engines a little bit just to get people stoked for what's going to drop in October and November and around like Prime Day and Christmas and all that stuff. We're definitely due to learn more about Ocarina of Time, if it's truly on the way this year, and I think that it is. I saw some rumors that a 40th anniversary and a themed Pro Controller might be around the corner for The Legend of Zelda. I could also see that coming together in like one direct, right? One Nintendo Direct with a closer look at the remake, maybe another preview of the movie, which we should be hearing more about too, because that's supposed to launch next spring. And then, of course, the Pro Controller and Amiibo and all that stuff. I also just read this morning that Ocarina might go head-to-head with GTA's release date in November. This is a quote from IGN. They wrote, "Eagle-eyed Nintendo fans have seen a pair of new Amiibo figurines dated for November 11th and believe this will also turn out to be the date that Ocarina of Time arrives on Switch 2 due to some pretty convincing evidence." So they went on to just basically say that typically they try to release the new Amiibo day and date with new games, new themed games. So that would make sense, November 11th. And I don't think Nintendo is scared of GTA. I think they have very different audiences. And I don't think they're worried about going head-to-head on November 11th. It looks like we did get confirmation, this is not a rumor, that Ocarina of Time will be rated E10+ for animated blood and fantasy violence by the ESRB. Okay, we have some other first-party Nintendo news to run through. Hot off the presses, this was announced today. 2 unreleased Virtual Boy games, Zero Racers and D-Hopper, also known as Dragon Hopper, will release on Nintendo Switch Online in the Virtual Boy catalog on August 4th. Now, we knew these games were coming. They've already teased these 2 unreleased games, but we didn't know when. So now we know these will arrive next week. And then Super Mario Sunshine will hit the GameCube library the following week on August 13th. So pretty exciting. Super Mario Sunshine was not always my favorite, but it is a classic staple in the Mario series. You can play it in the All-Stars collection that released on Switch, but it will be nice to just have it in the library. Xenoblade Chronicles 2 Nintendo Switch 2 edition is out now, and Alex Olney over at Nintendo Life dropped a video, and they republished their 9 out of 10 review from 2017 with some first impressions on the upgrade. It's not a lot, so I'm just going to read this verbatim, but I'm going to link to the article so you can go support Nintendo Life as well. The 60 frames per second boost is very welcome indeed, even if I've managed to find a few stutters. Although it has to be said that the game isn't nearly as sharp as I'd hope on Switch 2, it's a definite improvement, particularly in handheld mode, but Nintendo's brand of DLSS is clearly doing a lot of the heavy lifting rather than a true resolution bump. Extras like the new Merc Assault mode and a new Blade Momo, M-O-M-O, are neat. And if you've been hankering to replay the game or indeed simply play it for the first time, then the Switch 2 version is the better way to play. Some textures appear noticeably higher res, but truth be told, it's a stretch for Nintendo to keep claiming these upgrade packs are 4K. So if you don't know, or if you didn't know, this is a sprawling RPG. Looks beautiful on Switch, looks beautiful on Switch 2. Lots of open world shots in the trailers. I didn't understand a word that Alex wrote because I didn't play these games. I've never played them. I've been too intimidated by the long play times to pick up this series, and I'm the type of person where I would have to start the series from the beginning. But it is available now, $69.99 on Switch 2, or just a $10 upgrade if you have the Switch 1 version. There's also a 7-minute extended trailer for Pokemon Pokopia's expansion pass. There's a free update that will introduce the dive ability to let you go underwater, and the paid expansion pass will introduce a new town. The town is called Bubbly Basin, with new Pokemon, new objectives, new abilities, the whole nine. So really just an extension of the same Pokopia gameplay that people raved about when it released. The expansion pack will arrive on August 5th for $34.99, and it includes the first wave, and then there are 2 additional waves in 2027 that have not been fully detailed yet. Capcom went on the record to say that Pragmata is likely to get a sequel. It sold over 2.5 million units, and I do remember when it released, they were talking about how their intent was to develop new IP, and specifically new IP that could continue to be profitable or expand into a new franchise. And I think that they feel confident that this is one that will at least get a second chance to continue to expand and grow. Ron Gilbert announced on his Grumpy Gamer site that Thimbleweed Park 2 is in production with a tentative 2028 release date. There's a Steam page up, but on his announcement post, he did mention in the PPPS that there will be a Switch version, and with a 2028 release, we can only assume that that will be a Switch 2 version. Thimbleweed Park is a classic point-and-click adventure in true LucasArts style. Ron Gilbert, he worked on Maniac Mansion and Monkey Island and all the best ones. I mean, he is a legend in this genre. This is a series that I am glad will continue. I played Thimbleweed Park in 2020, and I'll forever tie it to that time period now. It's kind of crazy how the media that I consumed during the pandemic will be permanently locked to that experience now. I read Harry Potter. I read the Harry Potter series for the first time, never touched it. And then in 2020, I experienced it for the first time, watched all the movies. So now every time I think about or reflect on Harry Potter, I always connect it to the pandemic, right? For better or worse. And I'll say Thimbleweed Park is right there alongside a bunch of other games that I played. I don't know if anyone else feels that way. Just a quick aside. Croc 2 Kingdom of the Gobos will arrive later this year. We don't have a set release date. That's going to be a remaster. They remastered Croc last year. Wobbly Life, an open world physics game that already exists, I believe, on Switch 1, is getting a Switch 2 edition on August 20th. That'll bring 1 to 4 player local and online co-op, game share so that your friends don't need a copy if you want them to play along, built-in Switch 2 game chat functionality, and you can bring your save over from your Nintendo Switch edition to the Nintendo Switch 2. Lego Party, which is a Mario Party style game with mini games and competitions and the whole nine, what you expect from a party game, released last September, but a Nintendo Switch 2 edition dropped yesterday, July 30th. The upgrade is free if you have the Switch 2 or Switch 1 edition. The full game is also 30% off, so you can pick up the full Nintendo Switch 2 edition for $27.99 in the eShop. That's going to do it for today. I will be back on Tuesday. You can head on over to switch2pod.com for all the things. That's Switch with the number 2 pod. I'm going to have links to all the articles, and all that stuff is in the notes. You can check it out there. I am at Switch2pod on Instagram and Blue Sky. I really do not go on there often, but I do check just in case. Every once in a while, listeners will send me messages, keep in touch with me, and let me know what games to check out. And I really appreciate that. So if you want to contact me, that's probably an easy way. I will check it. I'll get back to you. You can head on over to patreon.com/switch2pod as well for the forever free DLC. There's some audio content on there now and more coming. This is a ad-free show, so a kind rating or review is easily the best way for you to share your support for the show. Apple Podcasts is great, but honestly, wherever you listen to podcasts is perfect. You don't even have to write anything. You can just drop a star rating. And again, all of that is incredibly helpful. As I mentioned, I'll be back on Tuesday. As always, much love. Enjoy the weekend. Now go play some games.